What's up, guys? GagexScapegoat here, and I'm here with Avery32. What up, mate?
What up?
Alright, here we're going to be doing the deck profile on my Jowgen field control deck. This deck is really deadly. This deck just pisses off so many opponents. I actually went,
So true.
like Avery's living proof. I posted a deck or a duel earlier where it was my Jowgen deck against a spear or a spellbook deck, and I 2-0'd him. All right, so before we get into the commentary, Avery, you said you wanted to give some updates, correct?
Yeah, I wanted to give some updates. For you guys who are subscribed onto my channel, I know I've been posting a lot of Pokemon lately, and I just posted like an hour and 40-minute long stream. Don't worry, I'm still into Yu-Gi-Oh! I still play. I'm not dead or anything like that. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to be making a channel update video, just talking about what it is that I want to do on my channel. I want to make a true questions, true answers commentary, or not commentary, but segment where you guys can send me a PM titling it True Question. You can ask me a question, and then every Friday, starting this coming Friday, I will answer your questions, or at least as many as I can in one video, and give my insights. You know, it can be about anything. It could be about your love life, your girlfriend, how to pick up a girlfriend, how to pick up a boyfriend if you're a female.
Sure,
What kind of deck
female.
ideas, you want to build. When I got into Yu-Gi-Oh, it could be anything about from Yu-Gi-Oh to Call of Duty to just straight up to when did you buy your new house?
As if you have a house.
You're right, I live in a box.
Exactly.
Exactly. In fact, I need to fix my roof. Oh wait, I don't have one.
Wait, when it comes to your quote update video, why don't you just make this your update video? Let me just say everything.
Hmm. Yeah, I could. I don't know. I'm too tired to think right now.
All right then. Let's get into the deck profile. Like I said, this is Jowgen Field Control. This is a deck I've been posting a lot of on my channel lately. I have like 3 or 4 games of it. I'm growing really partial to this deck. It's this deck and Anti-Meta Exodia that I'm really focusing on at the moment. So let's get into the deck profile. We have 3 Jowgen the Spiritualist, obviously. You discard a random card from your hand to the graveyard. Destroy all special summon monsters on the field. As long as the card remains face up on the field, no monsters can be special summoned. So this card right here gives the finger to Chaos Dragons.
That and it has a Fossil Dyna ability within it.
And who doesn't love Fossil Dyna?
Exactly.
People that are on the other side, that's who. 3 Crusader of Endymion, which, by the way, $11 for one. Are you serious? Come on.
Mostly just because some builds use him in Heroes. Just because he's a good versatile card, you can just summon him as a 1900 beater. Which I can tell you right now, if you're a hero player, you're going to want to be using Crusader of Endymion since you only now have 2 Thunder Kings. Just because it gives you that extra beat stick and it gives you that extra Gemini. And his ability for him in this deck, of course, to be able to put counters on Breaker is really nice.
That goes hand in hand with Breaker, but I'll read you the effect of Crusader. Street is a normal monster, blah blah blah. It's a Gemini and all that. It says once per turn you can place one spell counter that is on a face-up card on the field that can place a spell counter on. If you do, this card gains 600 attack until the end phase. So, you want to play Thunder King when I have Breaker on the field? Okay, Crusader. Oh wait a minute, that won't work because he has to wait until next turn. My bad. If you can keep him on the field for one turn, you're in pretty good shape. That's all I gotta say.
That he's also a target for Honest.
Yeah, that is one of the main things that I love doing is people will try and I don't know, where they'll drop some big beater.
Drop a red MD.
We'll go with a red MD, yeah, and then they'll attack my Crusader. I'll just drop Honest on them, and they just lost a nice 1900. Oh my god, Honest is such a bitch, but whatever. We have we have 3 Breaker, the Magical Warrior. Like I said, it goes hand in hand with Crusader because here's the deal: is the Breaker, when it's normal summon, place a spell counter on it, remove the spell counter, destroy the spell trap card on the field, and this card gains 300 attack for a spell counter. Like I said, you have the Crusader on the field and you have Breaker on the field. You're in pretty good shape, I'd say. Then we have the Malefic engine. We have 2 Malefic Stardust and 2 Malefic Cyber End. You can kind of play around with which ones you want. I just go with 2 and 2. It gives you a lot of Malefics to choose from. It gives you some good beaters, and plus if you have Malefic Stardust, they can't destroy your field spell. So there you go. And then you got 1 Honest. Thank God Honest isn't at Morg 1, otherwise I would shoot myself in the foot. Or
It's so versatile and so good. The ability just being able to even just summon it, poke for 11, and just bounce back to your hand and have that security knowing that you still have the honest in hand to use later is just so good. And the thing is that you may think 3, 6, 7, 8 targets for honest isn't that good. It actually is. The fact that you run such a low monster count, the only cards that you run that aren't dark is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 3 breakers, 2 Malefic Stardust, and 2 Cyber. So this card works well when it needs to, and also with the 1900. But it's not even that easy to get over.
I mean, like if some guy's poking at you with Thunder King, you can just set honest and pass. I mean,
Exactly.
there was a point where just because I was in a bad spot, all I did was the honest was face up because he attacked me with Thunder King, and all I did was just drop a save zone on him. Like I said, it was just because I was pretty much out of options at the point, so it was a good way to stall. Then we have 2 TKs, which are apparently limited to 2. Konami.
Any comments?
So many, but I'm going to try and keep this comment PG-13. Konami, I hate you. No, what deck plays 3 TK? Who does that?
Heroes.
Other than Heroes, because that goes without saying.
Windups.
Windups don't play
There's
3
so many decks that
TKs.
can run it, and even
Windups
just
do
side
not
deck it,
play.
like plenty of decks make it 2
Windups.
and 1.
Windups do not play 2 or 3 TK. They do not.
No, I mean you don't have to play 3 TK, but you can always just main 2, side deck a 3rd. I honestly don't mind this card being a 2. You know, people are gonna just stay with running 2 in the main.
People always play 2 in the main. That's never changed.
Exactly. That's why it's not really a big deal if this card went to 2. Okay,
Yeah,
so we have 1 less card to get rid of special summons. That's fine.
No,
we have 3 Jowgen.
No, but it's the same deal as like putting Spore at 3. It's like Konami.
You can only use 1 anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Like this ban list was such a fail because you only run 2 Thunder King usually, and you can only play Spore once per duel.
Well, I can tell you one thing: it's going to be aggressive as hell format.
And we have for the spells we have 3 Secret Village of the Spellcasters. This card just single-handedly beats spellbooks basically. If you control a spellcaster and your opponent doesn't, your opponent can activate spell cards. And if you control those spellcasters, you cannot activate spell cards.
So essentially, you just want to keep their monsters at bay, and as long as you're able to keep your spellcasters on board, they won't be able to use their spellbook Judgment Day. And I can tell you guys, once May rolls around, spellbooks are going to be a thing. You guys like. You know, right now they're kind of under the radar, but look at High Priestess. That little biatch is over $100 right now.
Dude,
once Judgment Day comes out, that thing's gonna be like 200.
Dude, in my commentary that I posted earlier today, I played against High Priestess and beat her first, or I think got her out first turn, and I took her down. High Priestess really does not. High Priestess honestly does not impress me that much. I'm going to be completely honest.
It's more just because it works in synergy with the deck. It works well with the deck, which is why it's such a high price. That and some other stuff. But I'm not an expert on prophecy, so I don't want to be giving you guys the wrong information. But the point is that Secret Village is busted.
Okay, so here's the thing: is that Secret Village, of course, is busted because you combo with Jowgen the Spiritualist. Like I said, no one can special summon, and then once you flip Save Zone on him, which is, well, no, it's not the next card, nowhere close, but still, then you flip Save Zone on Jowgen. He can't be destroyed by battle. He can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. You know, it makes it such a bitch to get over. And then plus, with Secret Village of the Spellcasters on the field, you can't Dark Hole him, you can't you can't, what do you call it, Lightning Vortex him, you can't Smash and Ground him, you can't MST, you can't Heavy, you can't Dark Hole, you can't Duality, Reborn, you can't do anything. This deck locks down so much just because spells are so much more important than trap cards. And anybody that disputes that is either a noob or has something wrong with them.
Newbies will be newbies.
Newbie's gonna noob. Did I really just use that phrase like that? Alright. 2 Terraforming. I know what you're thinking. Really? 3 of the field spell and 2 Terraforming? Is there something wrong with you? Okay, first of all, yes, there is something wrong with me. There's plenty wrong with me. But think about it.
Method to the madness.
No, there's no method to the madness. I'm just crazy.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, I'm not laughing. No, really? Did I just time out to do annex it? Okay, well yeah, you run 3 3 Secret Village of the Spellcasters, and you run 2 Terraforming. It's just max consistency about getting the field spell to your hand. That's really just what it's all about. It's just getting the field spell out of your hand, then getting a spellcaster on the field, and just locking your opponent down from there. You run 2 Null Venom Extermination. I no longer really play heavy in any of my decks, because really heavy actually has come to hurt me. Plus, oh my god, I'm gonna freaking quote Pro Winston again.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Pro Winston here.
Yeah, that is
I just want to let you guys know I top nationals with Exodia.
That was actually Worlds.
Or Worlds, you know, whatever.
I actually think that was smart. Like people are gonna be like, "Oh, you fat." No, I actually kind of understand why Pro Winston ran Exodia at Worlds. I can completely understand why, and I think it was smart.
Point of the video.
Good point.
2 Terraforming.
Good point. 2 Terraforming, then I run No Venom Extermination.
It works well with the field spell.
What? You're a little bit behind schedule there, buddy. No, it's I no longer really run heavy in any of my decks because I'm gonna quote Pro Winston because I never really got to. Is that in the words of Pro Winston, one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh players of all time, in my opinion. Heavy Storm does nothing but make you play stupid, and that he was 100% correct. Maybe just to me, Avery. What do you think? Do you think that he was true?
I think I can somewhat agree with that. Like, as a card in general, it's a very good card. I mean, it's part of the Trinity, Dark Hole, Monsterborn Heavy. But, I mean, you can always opt not to run it. I mean, plenty of decks don't run it. I mean, some decks run 2 MST or even triple MST and no heavy. It's all player preference, in my opinion. Does it make you play stupid? Yeah, I could agree with that statement. But I think as a card in general, it really depends on, are you comfortable with running it or not? In this kind of deck, it's a good thing that you don't run it because you run 13 traps. I mean, you already have Dark Hole Monsterborn plus double duality for consistency and double extermination. So you have the double extermination, which in itself is an MST. So you're essentially running double MST, just a better version.
And possibly more MST, because if you I've noblemaned like 1 Mirror Force and then I take both of them out. Or I actually noblemaned a safe zone one time when this guy had no monsters on the field, so he had to get rid of all 3 of his safe zones. Or there have been plenty of times where I've noblemaned a spellbook card, and then they had to take out all 3 of the spell. This is essentially just kind of see where I'm coming from. This is essentially 6 MSTs in 2 cards. Plus it's removing them instead of just destroying them.
Exactly. In theory, you're running 6 MSTs. And the fact that you also have all the outs in your trap lineup, like with double Mia Horse, those Solemn Duo, the safe zones, the skill drains, the bottomless hell, even Huge Revolution, it's like we originally were, well, I should say Gage was originally running Starlight Road, and I suggested Huge Revolution is over just because of the fact that you don't want your Starlight Roads conflicting with their Stardust Dragons. You care more about your Stardust Dragons being banished and bringing out Malefic Stardust. Yes, Starlight Road is nice to have, but with this deck, you need to be able to have as much speed and as much consistency as you can, which is why I believe that Huge Revolution is over in this deck is better than in other decks. Just because you're going to have those times where you're going to be like, man, I really wish I had a 3rd Stardust just in case I need it. Which, in the extra deck, you could always take out a 3rd Steel Swarm Roach for a 3rd Stardust if you really want to run 1 Huge Revolution and 1 Starlight Road. I think it's kind of inconsistent. But it all depends on what you're more comfortable with. Personally, I think Huge Revolution is better in this deck than using Starlight Road.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, the reason why I wasn't running is because I completely forgot about Huge Revolution in the first place. And let me make one quick change to the extra deck. I'm going to take out a Steel Swarm and put in a Pappy.
So you're going to have 3 Pappies?
Yes, and here's why. Well, I'll get to that later. We're still in the spells. 2 duality, just max consistency, and other than the Malefic monsters, you don't really special summon. And you don't really draw the Malefic monsters that often. That's something I've noticed. You don't really draw them that often, which is kind of weird, but whatever. They have Dark Hole Reborn. And then for the traps, you have the Solemn Duo, or the Gage. I don't know.
Solemn Duo.
We can see the Solemn Duo.
You're essentially running 5 Solemns almost, just because Safe Zone protects you from everything. And sleeping. It's just like, what?
Good point. So you have then 3 Safe Zone. This card is just absolutely busted. This has happened to me so many times. Secret Village, Jowgen, set Safe Zone, hit Safe Zone, boom, you are freaking golden. Like there's basically nothing that they could do or say that could possibly work to their advantage at this point. Like they can roll a decree. Tell me what else they can do.
You can MST, guys.
Oh yeah, that's true. But
Oh wait, I was actually right. Okay,
but hang on. You can say you can MST, but then all I heard, you may have said that, but all I heard was Secret Village of the Spellcasters, and then a bunch of sirens
that's true. I
and
wasn't paying attention. I was just saying MST just out of
sirens
the blue.
sirens and whistles.
Oh man.
All right, so then we go on to Two Huge Revolutions is over. Thank you everybody for the tech. I completely forgot about this card. This card is
anytime, brother.
Just
anytime.
Busted. All right, and then we have 2 Skill Drain. I was originally running 3, but 3 was a bit of a clog. It was a little bit too inconsistent. Plus, with it was kind of conflicting with Jowgen. So yeah, I took it out, put 2 Skill Drain in instead. It's running a lot better. Skill Drain's a good card that you can flip on your opponent. Basically kills spell books altogether, which I love.
Keep in mind though, you do need to be smart when you play it. It's kind of like using Monsterborn and Macro Rabbit. You need to be smart when you use your Macrocosmos if you have Monsterborn hand.
Let me give you a public service announcement right now about this deck. This is not a deck you can just autopilot. This is not a simple deck. This is a very, very, very thoroughly, or you have to think about this deck very thoroughly before you can play it.
Play conservative. If you're good at playing conservative and good at really thinking out your plays and doing good combos correctly, you're going to be fine.
All right, Avery, you played with this deck, like, roughly how many times did you play with this deck? Roughly.
I've played with it about 10, 15 times.
All right, and was it your first couple of matchups, did you think, wow, this deck sucks?
Honestly, yes, just because of the fact I didn't draw a lot of monsters. But the thing is that this is going to kind of go off tangent for a second, and I apologize for anyone that I offend who likes DN.
Go right ahead.
Personally, I hate DN. I hate it with a burning passion. The only reason why I use it is just to put up deck lists on my channel. Like YCS Austin coming up, I'm going to be using DN to put up deck lists. The thing is with DN is that it goes by algorithms. So in the order that you put your deck is going to be the way it shuffles because it resets that algorithm. Each card placement in this deck list is an algorithm. So let's say, for example, you put a skill drain at the top where one Jowgen is. So like you put one skill drain in the beginning and the second skill drain near the end. You could possibly draw both those skill drains in your opening hand. It just depends on how the algorithms work because they reset every time. So DN doesn't really give you a real good testing experience when you're trying to test out a deck. It's good to get a feel for the deck, which is why I played it 10 to 15 times on DN because I want to be able to get a good feel for the deck. And I will say overall, it is a very consistent deck, even on DN. But just know that DN is with algorithms. You have to be able to take that into consideration when building this deck IRL.
All right then. That was, yeah, I didn't know about the whole algorithm. You know, I didn't know about any of that.
Really?
Nah. So then we have 2 Bottomless Trap Hole and two Mirror Force. But like I just said, this is not a deck you can just autopilot. This is not. I'm just gonna shit on Chaos Dragons again. But this is not Chaos Dragons. This is not an autopilot deck.
It's not self-destruct button.
It's definitely not self-destruct. It's not Exodia FTK either. I know that sounds a little bit hypocritical coming from me, but my decks actually take skill. My Exodia variants are different.
It's not Chamber or Yu-Joe friendship.
Fuck you and your Yu-Joe friendship bullcrap. Who plays Yu-Joe? Who does that? Oh my god!
I'm still laughing my ass off about that. Okay, so 2 Stardust, 2 Cyber End.
Alright, then we run 3
Utopia,
I know that sounds.
Utopia,
I will. Calm your jets. I know it sounds kind of dumb to run 3 Utopia, but you need to have a lot of attack.
Negation.
Yeah, a lot of attack negation in this deck. 1 Utopia Ray because why not? Then you run 3 Pappy and 2 Roach. I originally was running 3 Roach and then 2 Pappy, but here's the thing. Once you get Jowgen and Safe Zone and Secret Village on the field, or as long as you have a Spellcaster and Secret Village on the field, your opponent is going to start setting like crazy.
That and you also run Alchemate Magician.
Yeah, I mean you're
which allows you to get Secret Village even quicker.
Your opponent is going to start setting monsters like crazy. So then Pappy is kind of like that one monster that'll just give the finger to that, you know. So then we have 2 Steelstorm Roach, just in case of emergency. Then we have 1 Alchemic Magician. This card gains 200 for each spellcaster in your graveyard. Once per it requires 3 level 4 spellcasters. Then once per turn during your end phase, you can detach an Exceed from this card and send a card from your hand to the deck, then choose one spell or trap card from your deck and set it in your spell and trap card zone. That includes, ladies and gentlemen, that includes Secret Village of the Spellcasters. That includes that. You can set it in its in the field spell part. So it doesn't say anything about, except non-field. No, you can do whatever you want. And then you have, it sounds kind of dumb, but then you run Gustav Max. I always want to say Gustavo. You're in Gustav Max. It sounds stupid, but here's the thing: is that you run the Malefics. You run the Malefics, then all you do is you overlay with 2 Malefics or Skeldrins on the field. Yes, it's happened to me before, and it's freaking awesome. All right, so as far as the extract, these are just 2 cards that I was looking at. These serve absolutely no point to the deck whatsoever. These are just 2 cards I was looking at. Spell of Pain. That's actually kind of cool against Cast Dragons. And Rainbow Life, which is also really, or not Cast Dragons, Chain Burn. And this is also really good against Chain Burn. Avery, you know what Spell of Pain does?
I've heard about it. I know it's really good against burn decks.
Activate only when an effect is activated that would inflict effect damage to you. Switch the effect to your opponent's life points. So if they chain Just Desserts, chain Just Desserts, chain this, chain this, chain this, you hit Spell of Pain, they take all of it. Which is why I will start siding this card in my decks. Because, of course, Spell of Pain just gives the giant finger to anybody that plays Chain Burn.
Does it give the finger to you, Joe Friendship?
I'm gonna murder you after this video. And then you run, well, no, you don't run it. It's just kind of a funny card. Then it was Rainbow Life. Discard 1 card, and then any effect damage, or no, whatever damage you would take, you gain that amount instead. Not as good, but they're just 2 burn cards. Or anti-burn cards, for that matter, that I was looking at. No big deal. Yeah, so that's the deck profile on my Jowgen field control deck. Hope you guys enjoyed. From me and Avery to GagexScapegoat. I will forever do that, Avery. So hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. I said, like the video! No, I'm kidding. Alright, so hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like. Click the subscribe button for me, and not Avery. No, I'm kidding. Subscribe to Avery. Subscribe to me. YouTube.com/AVER.
100 subs.
AVERYLR32. And YouTube.com/GAGEXSCAPEGOAT, GagexScapegoat, and AveryLR32. We'll catch you guys next time. Deuces.
Deuces.
Peace.